Hi guys, Tech James here. In this video I will show you guys how to install the latest custom firmware onto your BittBoy. So at the time of making this video, the second custom firmware has been released, known as revision 2. So if you guys want to get this, all you want to do is make sure you have the micro USB adapter, because you will need to disconnect your BittBoy's SD card and then go ahead and connect this into your PC. So go and do that now and I will show you guys what to do next. Okay guys, so over on your computer, I will leave a link to the GitHub in the description so we can download the custom firmware. So as you can see, this is made by, I guess this is like Team Triforce X, last updated 21 hours ago, and it basically just has a small guide of what we need to get the custom firmware installed. So obviously we need the new BittBoy, we need an SD card of 8 GB, which we should have, and we also need to download the custom firmware. So just click on the link here to download the custom firmware image. It's then just going to open in Google Drive. All we need to do is just click on the download icon at the top here. And now just click on download anyway and it will start downloading. Okay, so next we need to get the Win32 disk imager. This is a program we need to mount the image onto the SD card. So just click on the download link here. It will bring us up to the sourceforge.net webpage. All we have to do is just click on the download button right here. I actually already have this installed, so I'm not going to get it, but you just download it, and once you've downloaded it, you just run the program and then you can install it from there. Okay guys, so once we've got these two files, all we want to do is just go to our PC's downloads folder. Now here is mine. As I said, I've already installed the Win32 disk imager. I've also got some ROMs, which are in file folders. So as you can see, we can play a lot more games once we've got this custom firmware. We will be able to play Game Boy Advance, WonderSwan, SNES, and if I just double click on these, you can see I've got all my ROMs in each file folder. If you don't know how to get file folders, right click new, just choose folder, and then just call it one of these. Obviously you need to get your ROMs from wherever you want. So once we've got all our file folders and we've got the programs in our downloads folder, first of all just get the zip file, right click and then select extract here. This is going to just extract the image into our downloads folder. Now while this is extracting, we can also format our SD card, so just go onto it. Now it will be blank. As you can see, I need to format mine anyway. If we just click cancel on that, right click the SD card, just go down to format. All we have to do is just select default capacity, FAT32, default allocation size, quick format, click on start, click on OK, and then that is it. Your SD card is now formatted and it's ready for the image to be written onto it. Okay, so just click on OK when it says format complete and we can just close out of this. So let's just wait for the image to finish extracting. Okay, so once it is done, what we need to do is go to the search icon down here and just search Win32. This is where we can open up the Win32 disk imager. So this desktop app right here, just click on it and it will just open. Okay, so what we need to do is make sure you select device, make sure you select your BittBoy's SD card. Do not select anything else because it will wipe it. Click on the folder icon right here and it will bring you to your downloads folder. Okay, so once it brings you to your downloads folder, you need to click on your image file and just click on open. Next, make sure hash is on none, and then all you have to do is just click on write. Now this might take up to 5 maybe to 10 minutes, I'm not too sure, but just give it 5 minutes and then I will be back once it's done. So click on write, it says it will be like targeted and wiped, just click on yes, and now we just need to wait for this to be finished. Okay guys, so once it's done, it's going to come up saying write successful. Now if it comes up saying format disk or like loads of text boxes, just click cancel on all of them. I'll actually show you what I mean. So we can just exit out of this. So if I just unplug it and then just go and plug it back in, it's going to come up with all of these like stupid messages like this. Just click on cancel, OK, and if there's like loads of them open, just open them, cancel all of them. Just make sure they're not on there. So let's go back to our downloads, and basically we want to copy across our ROMs folder. So if you guys look on the main section right here, you can see there's actually already a ROMs folder. So if you go onto ours, what we want to do is select all these file folders and just drag them and drop them into the ROMs folder from here. Now you can put your games inside of the emulators themselves, but I just find them easier to just keep them in a ROMs folder. It's just easier to launch them up. Okay, so that is literally it for our PC. Once we've just formatted it, got the custom firmware on the SD card and copied across our ROMs, that is it. So let's disconnect it, put it back into our BittBoy, and I will show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so back off your PC, let's just go and put the SD card back into our BittBoy. Okay, so all we have to do from here is just go and power on the BittBoy, and hopefully it should load up. Now, it might take a bit longer, so just give it a few seconds. You'll get this kind of like code boot screen, and then it should launch up the operating system. So here we go, we're now on it, and as you can see it looks a lot different. So this operating system is so much better than the last firmware it had. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see that a bit better. Basically what you can do is just scroll down and you can just press A to open things, and you actually press the start button to go back. So we press A on skin, we can actually change skins. If we just switch it from here, you can see we've got lots of different custom ones we can apply, and this is actually a PS4 looking one. So if we press start on this, it will like refresh, go back to the main menu, and we've now got our PlayStation 4 skin equipped here. This one's really simple, I quite like it. Now we actually use the R button in the middle here to toggle through things. So we've got Commander and Explorer on the first option. Next option is all of our emulators, so we can scroll through. As you can see, we've got DOSBox on here, that actually works. NES, Neo Geo, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Wonder Swan, PlayStation, Sega Mega Drive, Sega Master System, SNES, and PCE. I don't know what that is, but they are all of the emulators we have. Next we've got kind of like homebrew games apps, so Cannonball, Doom, Quake, Quake 2, I'm not quite sure what that is, Wolfenstein 3D, and that's pretty much it. You can add more if you want to, and then of course we've got the settings, which is basically what it boots up first. So let's go on to the emulator section and let's just try something. Game Boy Advance did not work before we got this firmware, so let's go on that. Press A, scroll down, and we're looking for the Game Boy Advance ROM section. So it's this one right here. Press A, and then press A to boot up Pokemon Fire Red. So it's just going to boot it up like that. Now as you can see, it's kind of on this like small Game Boy Advance screen, and it's just, you know, not really that good. So what we can actually do is just press the R button. And we're just looking for the first option, which is graphics and sound options. Press A on this one, and then where it says display scaling, if you actually up this to full screen and then go back and press A, and then go to actually we can just restart the game, and there you go, it's now on full screen. Now sound works the same, hold select and you can hold A and B. Brightness works the same as well, hold A and B, make the screen really bright or make it really dark. So yeah, pretty cool, pretty much the same thing. And yeah, this now plays Pokemon Game Boy Advance games, or just all Game Boy Advance games in general, so that is actually a really cool thing. Of course we can just press start and, you know, start a new game and everything like that. Now I noticed with the Game Boy Advance emulator, it's actually using these two black buttons as A and B, so it's quite strange, but that's just how it works. And the Game Boy Advance games actually run pretty well, like sound works, everything like that. So what we can do is press the R button. If you go down to exit and just press on A, you can actually exit emulator without having to restart the device. Obviously we can just press start and then to go back. So yeah, you can pretty much play other games. Let's test out the Wonder Swan emulator because that was not on the last version. Let's press A to boot into it, load ROM. I think we need to press, is it A to go back? Yeah, we're looking for our ROMs folder. So we go back again, there it is, ROMs, Wonder Swan. Let's try and launch up this, and there you go, that works as well. Now I'm pretty sure it plays the colour version, this is actually the black and white version, but I'm pretty sure it works with the colour version perfectly fine. So let's press R, let's go down to exit. As you can see, every emulator is obviously different, but they all pretty much do the same thing. You know, you can put full screen, change the settings, stuff like that. Now SNES is also on here, so we can actually launch up an SNES game. Castlevania, that was not able to play on the last firmware that we had. Now this one's slightly different. If you press R, it will not work. You have to press start and select at the same time, and you'll get this menu up. And what we can actually do is change it to full screen, true, and then just go to reset game at the top here. And as you guys can see, it's now running in full screen mode. So yeah, I really like this custom firmware. I honestly didn't expect it to be this good. It really does make the device a whole lot better. And then once you're done, you can also go down to power and you can reboot it, you can power it off, or you can just press B for cancel. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. I really like this custom firmware. It's actually really good. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.